I'm Adrian and welcome to Fight Scene Breakdown. Today we're going to be taking a look at the main fight from Batman vs Superman, and just so you know, there are spoilers from the film. Let's begin. Besides a couple of punches and blocks, most of the fight is presentation fighting, for lack of a better term, where we mostly get to see them tackle or throw each other without complex fighting choreography. It begins with a simple shove from Superman, which actually works perfectly to establish the imbalance of power between the two. Even with the suit, Batman is nothing more than a flea for Superman. Batman then counters this imbalance by employing traps that do little else but anger Superman, causing him to do the mainstay of presentation fighting, performing a tackle, which in this case ends with a throw that would have definitely killed Batman had it not been for his armor. Batman then throws a small gas grenade, which is actually comprised of lead, something which according to the Batman vs Superman tech manual from the film, Superman cannot see through with his X-ray vision, causing him to quickly dash to the other side. It is here where Batman lands his first successful hit, as that kryptonite gas grenade diminishes Superman's powers immensely. He blocks Superman's punch effortlessly, and with a quick headbutt and kick sets him up for a pound the ground kind of tackle. Superman regains his powers and counters Batman, but after a second kryptonite gas grenade, things quickly go south for Superman, ending the fight. A major component of a good fight scene is a face-off. It happens when the two fighters take a good look at one another before the actual fighting begins. You can see it in Winter Soldier, in Matrix, and in Batman vs Superman, where it actually sets up the fight really well. Since the previously described fight choreography is so minimal, the good thing is that it all makes perfect visual sense. The editing doesn't seem to get in the way at all, only cutting when the shot reaches its natural end, such as when Superman throws Batman, and then we cut to Batman crashing against the light, and then languishing in pain as Superman slowly makes his way towards him. Zack Snyder has always had a flair for framing action scenes and visually interesting compositions, and for the most part, he retains his style. It's unfortunate the fight had to take place in such a visually drab location. The Superman vs. Zod fight had much more interesting geography and camera work and was much more impactful. It is here where the fight really crumbles under its own weight. This alone could merit an entire video, but I will keep it as short as possible. For the first part of the film, we were building towards an epic confrontation where Batman wants to fight Superman because he believes he is a destructive threat to humanity, and Superman believes Batman is an overly violent vigilante. But suddenly, the entire premise is dropped because Lex Luthor decides to kidnap Superman's mom. Now the fight has shifted to that of an unwanted fight. Superman did not want to fight Batman, but was manipulated into it by Luthor, and furthermore by Batman's traps. We're therefore left with a scene where Batman seems like a bully, and Superman like a confused victim, not the epic confrontation we were promised. In conclusion, the fight was an interesting representation of how a man with no powers would exploit the one weakness of a man with all the powers in order to beat him. It was definitely not worthy of being the entire centerpiece of the film, as the skirmish was much too short and was somewhat underscored by just how forced the fight turned out to be. I actually prefer the fight scene in the animated film based on the comic The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. What did you guys think of the fight? Which fight would you like me to analyze next? Subscribe and you can follow me on my Twitter and Instagram at Godzillarex. See you next time.